This formerly Patreon-exclusive bonus minisode was originally released on March 2nd, 2022.
This podcast contains descriptions of violence against children and adult language and is not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Suffer the Little Children, the true crime podcast giving voices back to the victims of child abuse and shining a harsh spotlight on the parents, guardians, and caretakers who silence them. I'm your host, Laine, and this is Patreon-exclusive bonus minisode number 11, Jordan Roberts. Around 6 p.m. on Friday, May 1st, 2020, a woman named Maranda Alford burst into a police station in Little Rock, Arkansas to notify authorities that her 11-year-old son, Jordan Roberts, had been taken hostage in their home by her fiancé, 32-year-old Brent Martin, who also lived in the home. Police rushed to the scene, soon followed by a swarm of upwards of 40 SWAT team members. When the first officers on the scene arrived, they heard gunfire from inside the house. Upon entering the home, Officer Scott Detmer and Lieutenant Dana Jackson were confronted by the gunman and fired their weapons at him, killing him. In one of the bedrooms, police found Jordan suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. EMTs loaded the boy onto a stretcher and, according to a witness, literally ran him to a waiting ambulance with one first responder providing chest compressions as they ran alongside the stretcher. Jordan was rushed to Arkansas Children's Hospital. Tragically, he did not survive his injuries, and he was pronounced dead that evening, barely a month before he would have celebrated his 12th birthday. At a press conference on Saturday, May 2nd, Little Rock Police Chief Keith Humphrey said, "The officers were attempting to gain communication and wait on our SWAT team. Gunshots were heard from inside the residence. We have now learned that those shots were being fired by the suspect. It's with great sadness that we announce that our victim, 11-year-old Jordan Roberts, passed away from his injuries suffered at the hands of our suspect. So I want to ask that we keep Jordan's family in our thoughts and prayers." Chief Humphrey told gathered reporters that an internal investigation would be conducted on the use of deadly force during the incident, although, he said, the veteran officers involved had no choice but to make a split-second decision. With everything going on, their main focus was to save the life of this child. This was an imminent situation, and it happened only in a matter of seconds. They never thought about their safety. After shooting the suspect, the officers rushed to perform CPR on Jordan.
I'm telling you right now, our officers are hurting. They tried everything they could do to save that young child, and something that they will remember the rest of their lives.
Both Officer Detmer and Lieutenant Jackson were placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of the internal investigation, which is routine for any shooting involving an officer. Neighbors and community members left flowers and stuffed animals outside the Karen Court house as a memorial to Jordan. Neighbor Brianna Allen said, "It was a lot. It happened so fast, and it was so close." Tianka Sherd, whose family lives across the street from the home and who also overheard the shootings, spoke to a reporter about the incident.
My husband and I were sitting right there in the living room, and we heard the first two shots. Oh my goodness, I mean, it just tore at my heart. My anxiety was just above the roof, and I just was thinking, let him be able to save him, let him be able to save him.
Tianka's son, Cartier, was having a hard time coming to terms with Jordan's death.
It made me feel bad and sad, because he was my friend, and now I feel like I don't have a friend to play basketball with.
According to neighbors, Miranda, Jordan, and Brent had only moved into the small house on the corner of Karen Court and Labette Drive within a couple of months prior to the incident. They said they had seen Jordan running around in the yard. Those with children close to Jordan's age took the news of his death particularly hard. Neighborhood resident Jessica Smith, who lived a block from the house, said, "He's actually a little younger than my son, so it really kind of hit home. I cried." According to Brent Martin's Facebook page at the time, he and Miranda were engaged since December 25, 2017. Brent attended New Tyler Barber College from 2006 to 2007, and he made a living cutting hair in various places. In 2016, Brent Martin was charged with domestic battery against a different person and found guilty in 2018. According to the Democrat Gazette, he also had several drug charges in the past. In October of 2019, a domestic incident occurred involving Maranda, and a no-contact order was issued. That order expired on April 21st, just days before Jordan was killed. Friends of Brent, also known as NBA the Barber, posted plenty of remembrances of him online as well. One friend posted on May 3rd, "As I'm writing this, I got my sad music on. I just can't cry anymore because I know the truth. I've known Brent Martin and worked with him, I know, over 11+ years. Like another brother. He was a real sweet, caring, gentle, and loving, funny thug. And if you knew my friend, you knew B had a few demons, which we all do. Well, I know I do. He just had a hard time dealing with them. I feel like we all helped him fight the demons in some way, whether it was just listening to him rant and cry about it, whatever it was that was on his mind at the time, or whatever. But as long as he could set up shop and cut hair and talk shit amongst us, he was the happiest person in the world. Oh yeah, you can't forget that damn cup. B gonna have that damn cup, which was one of my best friend's demons, alcohol. He had to have it. B done had so many close calls with death, but he wanted better. My guy had stopped drinking, business jumping. Just had got a new big-ass, clean-ass truck, money good, new house, and him and his girl was expecting a new baby with his stepson. The tears are coming now because it's fucked up. Jordan didn't deserve it. But I do know B loved that boy. I loved my friend. I just feel like he gave up on all his friends and family. Coward move, but I do believe he was tired and couldn't take the pressure that life brings us. If the shops was open, this shit would never have happened, because he would have been in the shop, shoes off, hair all over his socks, hair in face, with that damn cup." Others who loved Brent tried to remind people that no one knows what really took place in the house that day. One wrote, "I can't deal with this shit. I mean, it's going to take a while for me to just come to. I haven't been the same since this happened. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Things aren't sitting right with me. I know you loved your son and stepson. I remember you having to go to the school to take or do something for Jordan while in the middle of cutting my hair. It was over an hour before you came back. You did what a father was supposed to do. I close my eyes often, trying to put myself in that house that day, trying to see what actually happened, trying to understand, trying to get some truth, but only God knows." Brent DeAndrew Martin, whose friends also called him D, was born on July 6, 1987, in Lake Village, Arkansas, and raised in nearby Hamburg, is survived by the infant son he shared with Maranda, as well as his parents, 2 brothers, and 6 sisters. A private graveside service was held for Brent on Thursday, May 7, 2020, at Johnson Memorial Cemetery in Hamburg. A GoFundMe campaign was created to pay for funeral and memorial costs for Brent, with the leftover funds being set aside for his and Miranda's young son, who was born in early 2019. To date, the campaign received a total of $1,906. I can understand how his friends and family feel, but my sympathy for them stops at them. I can't bring myself to feel sympathy for the man who murdered a beloved little boy, even if the man was struggling with life's challenges in one way or another. We all struggle in our own way, some harder than others, but most of us don't cause the deaths of innocent children in the process. As for Jordan, I have nothing but sympathy for that special little boy whose family members are deeply grieving his loss to this day. They created a GoFundMe campaign to cover the cost of Jordan's funeral. As of this recording, the campaign received donations totaling over $9,000. In that campaign, organizer and family member Tanisha Taylor wrote, "Jordan was shot and killed by a psycho stepdad he thought loved him. Jordan was a loving kid who loved to play video games and basketball and enjoyed his family and friends. His life was taken way too soon." Jordan Mackay Roberts was born on June 4, 2008, in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to mother Maranda Alford and father Gregory Roberts. He leaves behind 6 siblings. 2 brothers and a sister live in Pine Bluff, 1 brother lives in Little Rock, and he has sisters in North Carolina and Texas. At the time of his death, he was attending Western Hills Elementary School in Little Rock. Jordan's funeral was held on Saturday, May 9, 2020, at Powell Funeral Chapel in Kennett, Missouri. He was buried in Memorial Gardens Cemetery, also in Kennett. Jordan's parents spoke with Fox 16 2 days after their son's death.
It touches my heart to see so many people, like people that don't know Jordan, and how it affects them just as much as it affects us. Jordan, he had a heart of gold. He enjoyed playing the Xbox and basketball. Those are the 2 things he loved the most.
He loved spending time with his sisters. You know, he had friends, his little cousins that he was crazy about coming to see him. He just was just a lovable kid, people that didn't even, really too much knew him, but just knew that, seeing him around, had love for him.
Taking him to the Derby was a memory for me because I can actually see his face light up and he was actually excited about that.
The instant that you see him and interact with him, you're going to love him. You're going to love his spirit. He's just that type of child. He just, he's just got that will about him, that love.
Maranda and Greg want everyone to remember Jordan for the beautiful spirit he had and the person he truly was. Another fond memory of her firstborn son, which Maranda shared on Facebook, is that whenever a note was sent home from school about his behavior, he would go to great lengths not to give them to her. He used to tear them up, hide them, leave them on the bus, throw them under the bus, stuff them in pillowcases. A section of highway was adopted in Jordan's memory, which his mom and others take time every 3 months to clean up and maintain. On June 5, 2021, Maranda held the first annual J-Day, a celebration of Jordan's life in honor of what would have been his 13th birthday. The event, which took place at Willoughby Park in Kennett, featured music from DJ Chetta as well as free food, games, bounce houses, a basketball tournament, and a video game challenge. Since I have a son only 6 months older than Jordan, this story hurt a little more than most when I first told it on the blog back in 2020. Kids Jordan's age are just coming into their sense of self and independence. Some of them still believe in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. They have 1,000,000% faith that their families will support and protect them at all costs. I just hope Jordan did not have the time to experience the pain, fear, and betrayal that Brent Martin's horrific acts could have caused. Unlike many of the children I talk about on the podcast and the blog, Jordan was not raised in a neglectful or abusive environment by parents or caretakers who could not and did not meet even his most basic needs. He was clearly a child who lived his entire life surrounded by loving and supportive family and friends, but even that couldn't insulate him from this single, catastrophically abusive event. Between a child who was chronically abused and finally murdered, and a child who was raised in a nurturing home only to be slain without warning, to be honest, I don't know which scenario is more tragic. In this case, there can never be justice, and I can't imagine how frustrating that is for Jordan's family. Even so, Miranda's commitment to keeping Jordan's memory alive and celebrating his life is admirable. I want to believe that wherever he is, Jordan has made friends with other kids around his age that I've talked about on the podcast or the blog. Some that immediately come to mind are Eduardo Passo, Alex Hurley, Zachary Sabin, Nakota Kelly, and Logan Klein. I can picture the boys huddled around an Xbox, giggling, or gathered on a basketball court, shouting and making the random noises only boys that age seem to be capable of. They all deserve to enjoy the twilight of their childhoods and to see the sunrise on their teenage years. They were full of promise, love, and unlimited potential. My heart breaks for each and every one of them, as it does for every child whose story I have covered. Rest well, Jordan. You are, and always will be, truly loved. That's it for this Patreon-exclusive bonus minisode. Join me next time for another story. If you like the show, please follow or subscribe to Suffer the Little Children on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Spreaker, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast listening app. And please leave me a 5-star rating and a positive review on your favorite podcast platform. Visit the website at sufferthelittlechildrenpod.com. You can support the show by visiting patreon.com/stlcpod, where you can become a patron for rewards ranging from a shout-out by name on the show to exclusive gifts. You can also support the show at ko-fi.com/stlcpod. Follow the podcast on Facebook and Instagram at Suffer the Little Children Pod and on TikTok at STLCpod. View photos related to today's episode on Facebook. This podcast is researched, written, hosted, edited, and produced by Laine. Intro theme music is by Dream Note Music, and all music for the show is licensed from audiojungle.net. For more information about preventing or reporting child abuse, visit childhelp.org or call your area's child abuse hotline. And remember, if you see something, say something.